Gentlemen and creative computer students, we're going to create our keychain, and we're going to do it in Autodesk Fusion 360. This is on. You can do this on the internet, browser-based, or you can click on it on the desktop. This version is on the desktop. All right, so let's create a new design, and we're going to save it, and we're going to give it a good name. Okay, I'm going to give it a name, and then I'm going to click on this here, and I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this 3D keychain. Okay, and I'm going to double click on that folder, and I'm going to go ahead and save that. So it's saved in the cloud, so that's good, but make sure you save regularly. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a sketch. So you come up here and you're going to create a sketch, and you have to decide if you want it on the, I'm going to do it on the top. Okay, so I'm going to do it on the top, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rectangle. I'm going to create a rectangle so that I can, so I clicked on that so that I went on the top. So I'm going to create a rectangle, and just to kind of get us going here, and we want to figure out how big we want it. So I decided, I got out my calipers, and I decided, let me turn these on. Okay, so I decided that I wanted it to do 45 inches, was how, or not inches, but millimeters. Okay, so I'm going to type in 45 by 45, and that's kind of a good starting point. I can for my drawing. So now the next thing is I already downloaded a picture, and so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on that square, and I'm going to insert a canvas. Okay, and so that I'm going to insert it from my computer. So I'm going to go into my folder with my name on it. I'm going to go into Creative Computers. I'm going to go into 3D Design, Keychain, and I have my Assets folder. I saved my picture there. Boom. Okay, and so you can see that it placed it right into that square, so it forced it to be 45 by 45. Okay, and so I'm done with that sketch. So I'm going to click right up here, Finish Sketch, and I'm going to go ahead and create another new sketch, and I'm going to create it right on top of this one. And I'm going to zoom. I'm going to use my center wheel to scroll in, and I'm going to click on the center wheel to do that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to need to start tracing this thing. But I'm going to hit pause, and I'm going to trace the tail while you're not watching. Hold tight. So I took a little time and I drew the tail, but I want to show you how to use the Spline tool to do this. It's a lot different. It's not as good as the pen tool in Photoshop. It's not as good as a Bezier curve, but it'll do the job. So we'll go to the Spline tool, and so you kind of want to just figure out where you're going to start and end. I'm going to start here, end here. So I'm going to click, and if there's no clicking and dragging, you just kind of click at your points, click, and then I'm going to end here, click. All right, and then I say, oh, I'm done, so I click on that little done arrow. Okay, so now I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to come back, and now I'm going to drag the handles, and I'm going to try to see if I can get the handles where they need to be to make this work. So I click on the anchor point, and now one of the problems is I have to do both anchor points at the same time, or the handles both at the same time, which is a little bit painful. So sometimes you're going to end up having to move. So like on this one, well, let me try this one. So like when you get to this point, it's always easier to work on this end point because it's only going one direction, if that makes sense. Like this handle's not really affecting anything, so it's always easier to work on the two end points. All right, so let's see what I can do, if I can get it where I need it. Come on, there we go. All right. Oh, I had it and I messed up. Come on. Well, okay. So anyway, I've got that one. So let's do the next one. So now I'm going to go from here to here. So we're going to go to the spline. We're going to click here, beginning, end, and I'm going to, I got to hit the done. And then I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to grab the anchor, the handle, and adjust it after the fact. Okay. Now, one thing you'll notice is that you can't use it to do corner anchor point. So you just have to stop and then start again. So I got to a corner anchor point. So I said done. Now I zoom in, and then I'm going to go to the spline tool, and I'm going to click. I can't click and drag. I'm just clicking on where I want the anchor point. So I think I want one here, and then I want one here at the end, and then I click on the checkbox done, and then again, always adjust your endpoint handles and then adjust this one. So I'm gonna, because these are easier to work with because they only go in one direction. Okay, because this one doesn't affect anything. Okay, so I'm gonna click here, and I'm gonna go there, and that's pretty close. So if I really want to, I can adjust this one out a little bit, like that. Okay. All right, and then now I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to click off. I'm going to go back to my spline, and I didn't get that exactly right. But at any rate, we'll go here, top of the curve here, and then finish off here. Click on the done, and then I'm going to drag. I'm going to drag my handle here, and then I'm going to drag my handle here. And then if I need to, I can adjust this one a little bit. Okay. All right. So now the hope is that I have a closed path. If I have a closed path, I can extrude this. So let's say finish sketch. Okay. Now if I want to maneuver it around, I have to come down here and click on the orbit. So I'm going to click on the orbit, and I'm going to move it around a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to go to extrude. I'm going to click on this and say I want to extrude. Oh, that wasn't it. Let's hit Control Z. Let's try this again. Hopefully, like I said, I created a closed path. So extrude. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, I got it. And so then we're going to decide how thick we want it. So we're going to look at our calipers, and I'm going to say I want this thing to be 2.5 millimeters. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to type in 2.5 millimeters. Okay, and so there we go with that. And so then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make another sketch. I'm just going to do the eyebrows. So I'm going to create another sketch. I want to make it on the top of my Angry Bird. Okay, and then this one's easy for the most part. So I'm going to go with I'm going to use the line. No, where's the line? Oh, there it is, the line. Okay, so I'm going to start here. I'm going to go click, click, click. I'm just going to do this straight for speed purposes. Click, click, and click. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to go to my spline tool. This is a curve, so I'm going to go click, click, and then I'm going to adjust that and be done. Okay, and then I'm going to go back after the fact and then adjust. Oops, let me hit escape and zoom in here. Let me go grab this. We're going to adjust that curve. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to finish the sketch, and then we're going to go grab the orbit tool, turn it this way. We're going to go to extrude, and we're going to extrude the eyebrows, and those I also want to be 2.5 millimeters. Okay, and you can see if I hit the orbit that I now have the beginnings of a keychain. All right, let's hit pause on that for now, and then I'm going to show you some other parts of this tutorial in the next video.